Hello family, and welcome to another video. It is very obviously raining outside, but I feel like doing a video outside. It wasn't raining when I started setting up, and I was like, honey, we've already come this far, so it is what it is. I want to get a feel for what this current energy is bringing us right now. And those of you who are watching it right before the eclipse on October 14th, 2023, and those of you who are watching it because you're in your season of a personal eclipse, whatever it is that you're going through and you found yourself here and you're watching this video, this message is for you, okay? So let's get into it. My deck of cards is wet. It's giving cleansing. So we can already tell with the rain starting. As soon as I started shooting the video, literally as soon as I started shooting the video, it was not raining before. It was like drizzling a little bit, and then it started a heavier rain. It's already giving the energy of cleansing and renewal. And we know that eclipse already brings that energy, but this one is giving the cleansing that we didn't expect, and cleansing things that we didn't even know were something that needed to be cleansed in the first place. And revealing truths about things, revealing truths about ourselves. And this is not even messy type of truth. It's more of like an awakening to routines, awakening to patterns, awakening to we don't know who we are type of awakening energy. Like, oh wow, I thought I knew who I was. I thought I had this secure and super strong foundation, but you are starting to see kind of the cracks in the surface, and you're starting to see the truth of a situation or the truth of who you are. And this energy is giving us the opportunity and the chance to reflect and say, is this who I want to keep being? Because this eclipse, or this eclipse type of energy, is allowing us a gateway for opportunity, a gateway and an opportunity for transformation. So basically you can use this energy to change things around, shift them, and welcome something new into your life. Think about what that is. If you find yourself thinking about something a lot these last couple of weeks, that could be the one thing that needs some changing or some shifting. If you found yourself embedded in a certain thought or action, or something is calling to you, a change is being called to you, it's time to start planning how you're going to take those steps. Not only planning it, but kind of taking steps as you're planning it. You know, a lot of us say, oh, we're gonna do that later, but when is later? Because right now, this eclipse energy is saying, oh, don't do it later. You need to start now, but you can take these little steps because they do make big changes. So we're gonna use the hero's journey for now. What would your higher self do? This is so funny that this card comes out because I just made an Instagram post about what this eclipse is bringing us, and I specifically asked in the post, what steps can you take today to get closer to your higher self? Who are you in an ideal world, and who are the people that you welcome into your space, into your life? Who are the people that you attract in an ideal world? Because you're asking yourself that question, you want to ask yourself how you can bring that into your present life, okay? So then you start thinking, okay, well, how can I take steps each day to become closer to my higher self? That's literally what I put in the post, and it's so ironic that this says, what would your higher self do? Because it's reminding you that you are your higher self. You're just at a particular frequency, and you can shift that frequency anytime that you want to. It's going to take some work, but this eclipse is making it easier for us. It's literally saying, here's the problem. Here's the trade. Transition it. So now that you already have the answer, you just got to figure out how to solve the problem. It's like a math equation. Like, let's say you already know the answer to the math equation, but how did you get there? How do you get there? And then you're doing the work like on the papers. It's almost like cheating on your test. Like, basically you're cheating on your test. You know the answer, but now you're like, okay. Now that I know the final answer, like, how do I figure out the equation to mark it down? Because the teacher said you got to show your work. Like, that's the energy that it's giving. It says weird is a new cool. So you might be extremely weird at this time. Just like stuff that you used to do, or stuff that you always wanted to do but you never did. That's the energy that is giving. It saying the weirdness in you is exactly what's going to take you to where you want to go. So those different traits that you have, let's say that you're trying to work in an industry where everyone's doing the same things. For example, I'll give my own example. I used to be a professional actress. I did it for a very long time, probably about 10 years, where I consistently did it. And I would go to these acting classes and they would always say stuff like, you need to wear like basic colors, no rips in your jeans, basic jeans if you're gonna wear jeans, nothing high-waisted, nothing that stands out, and you wear like a white shirt or you wear a basic colored shirt. Me, I wore whatever I wanted to. Like, I was at the point where I was like, I know who I am, and whoever I am, if it doesn't fit with the gig, then I don't want to do it. And at the time, I would wear ripped jeans. My jeans were looking crazy. I would wear, you know, dingy shirts if I wanted to, because that was my style, like grunge. So with my style being grunge, I would show up to these auditions looking grunge. And even if I had to be like a uppity character, I would still show that. Or maybe I would wear something that I would wear on an uppity day, but it would still be me. It would still resonate with me and who I am. And that's exactly what it did. And when I tell you, pretty much everything that I auditioned for within that 10-year period, I got. I probably didn't get 2 or 3 of the jobs that I auditioned for within that 10-year period. I pretty much literally got everything. It got to the point where I would see casting directors and they would be like, you know what, I'm just gonna have you be the designated person for this company. You're gonna be the designated model, you're gonna be the designated actress for this company for long term. And casting directors would know my name and stuff and know who I was, know who I worked for, what agency I worked for as well. And it's like I was making a name for myself because of how unique I was. That's what you guys and all of us honestly have to do. We have to make a name for ourselves by being ourselves. You're not going to do that by being whatever people want in every different space that you're in. It's like having different jobs and they have this job description and you're transitioning to that person. No, if the job description doesn't fit who I already am, honey, I'm not doing it, because that's not being authentic for who I am. And sometimes we have these opportunities where we do have to adjust. It's okay to tweak a little bit of things, but if it doesn't resonate with who you want to be or who you are, I don't think it's gonna last very long. It's fake, it's fluke. So just keep that in mind, because a lot of the people who end up transitioning into being exactly what a company wants them to be or what someone wants them to be, the relationship doesn't last. It doesn't last because it's not authentic. It's the energy is not matching what's going on. So keep that in mind. Put yourself in places where you can be yourself. Put yourself in places where they don't ask you to minimize yourself, to be something else, to put you in a different box than what you're already in, or put you in a box at all and you're not in a box. Don't put yourself in a place where you only have to color inside their lines. That's the message. And the other card that came out is honor the whisper of your soul. So this is also about authenticity and being who you are and loving who you are in every step. Like, it's not always pretty. It's not always pretty being authentic. It's especially when you first start figuring out who you are, and then people are so accustomed to who you've been and they're like, oh honey, you changed. Honey, yes I have, and good, because I didn't like how my life was turning out when I was the same person and people were crossing my boundaries and playing me because I didn't know who I was. But when you get to a place of where you know yourself, you don't let people play you. You innately don't let people play you. It's not even a question, because people will look at you and know that you know who you are. So know who you are, and that will be your sense of protection because you have a foundation. Celebrate your magnificence. So during this eclipse, oh my god, I had like a premonition of a lot of you guys, which is funny because this card looks like she's dancing, getting energy out through movement and physical shifts. Like, I can see things locking back into the way that they're supposed to be. It's almost like a dislocated shoulder and then it popping back, and you being able to mobilize it more than you were before. So it seems like you're getting back to a place, but you're actually getting further. Like, you're taking a further step, but it feels like you're getting back to yourself more so. So you're spiritually getting back to who you are, but you're not the same person, if you understand what I'm saying. It's almost like that level of confidence that you had the last time you knew who you were. You're getting back to that type of energy, but you're not the same person. You're obviously very different. So movement, shaking stuff out of your body, dancing stuff out of your body, somatic release, and just really trying to work through that energy and navigate through it to figure out, where am I now? because I'm not who I used to be, and I don't even want the same things that I used to want. I have different goals, I have different aspirations. How do I get these things? And just taking the steps on your way, like even if you don't know how you can get there, just taking whatever step you feel could lead you there or give you more knowledge about where you're trying to be. It's the goal. One with the sun. I love this so much. This is giving grounding yourself outdoors, being in pure energy, like around animals. And I'm not talking going to the zoo, because it doesn't feel that pure when you're there. I'm talking about really seeing animals in the wild in their purest form and doing their purest things, and like raccoons digging into the trash eating french fries or something. Like just seeing that and being a part of that moment and enjoying it, laughing about it, and seeing the humor in life, and seeing the grace and the peace and the love in life as well. Be the light. I love that. So you're being the light right now, and you're allowing yourself to connect to pure energy, which is resonating in authentic energy as well. Be reborn daily. So this is definitely one of those cards where you're like, oh, how do you do that? Honey, I ask myself the same thing all the time. But it is very valuable that each day you start off on a clean slate, because you don't want to bring what happened yesterday into today, especially if yesterday was not a good day. And those of us who are doing that, when you keep bringing things from yesterday's into today's, you need some type of release. You're gonna need some type of release. You're gonna need some alone time. I think a lot of people depend on other people to be there for them and be around them when they're going through a deep healing experience. But the more you are able to be by yourself and that energy, that healing energy, the more you'll know yourself, the more of a foundation you'll have. Not only that, but you kind of release this sense of anxiety, because you realize that people won't always be there when you're going through a moment. Like you could be in the shower and go through a panic attack, or go through a hard thought and feel frozen and be like, oh my God, I need to call somebody. But you can't focus on needing to call somebody or getting somebody in that moment. You need to focus on transitioning yourself and getting yourself out of it. So the next time that you have a deep thought, document it, write it down, work through it, figure it out. Because unless you're seeing a professional or someone who is trained in this, you may have issues actually getting out or getting down to the bottom of what the root of the problem is. And sometimes people just get us out before we're ready to get out as well, and the thought keeps coming up because we haven't necessarily healed it, or we haven't experienced it. So just be aware of that as well, that if you keep having reoccurring thoughts and you keep going to other people to help you get out of it, be aware that this reoccurring thought may keep happening because you're not allowing yourself to experience and learn from it. Let go of the past and breathe in your new incarnation. So also this eclipse energy is bringing us a chance to really just shift ourselves and remind us that a powerful beginning can start every day. A powerful beginning is starting now. Like this is our chance to intentionally shift our patterns. And this is not just saying intentionally shift your life, like intentionally manifest your life. Yes, intentionally manifest your life. Yes, good signs. But there is so much work that needs to be done that goes into changing your routines, especially as an adult. When you get to like your 30s and stuff, and around your 30s, you realize, oh wow, I've been in this pattern for a while. Like, how do I shift this pattern? How do I change this pattern? How do I become more resonating to myself? Even, once you get to, I'll say 20, 23, even 24, you're like, okay. I gotta start taking some responsibility for what's going on here and reflecting, where did this start and what do I want to do to change it? So there's a lot of questions that are coming up right now, and it's mostly, who do you want to be? Because once you figure that out, it'll help you figure out what your next steps are. And not even just figure out your next steps, because we figure it out as we go. I always say in a lot of my videos, life is an experiment, and experiments, you have to continue to try out different methods and routines to figure out what's working for me, what connects me, and what doesn't. So enjoy this, create some art, by just living your life and trying to figure out who you are and modifying things that you don't like about yourself. And I love you guys so much. I hope that you have a beautiful eclipse or eclipse energy transition that you're going through. And I will see you guys in another video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe.